Hey, so it's morning again. After having stayed up all night, last night I woke up at like 8 p.m. So my schedule's pretty messed up. But since I'm awake and it's even though it's raining, it's light outside. I'm gonna make a video for YouTube, which I haven't done in a while, and I'm gonna talk about author branding, and specifically some things that I've been going through, which has clarified for me what my author brand is, or what I want it to represent, or kind of how I'm gonna start positioning it. Um, so some background, I had to buy a new computer and I've been putting it off for a long time, but now my keys were like sticky. So like because it was an old computer, the keys just, they weren't clicking and I couldn't type on it anymore. So that's, if I'm a writer, I have to have a computer that actually works. So I shopped for a long time and I didn't get the one that I really thought that I wanted, which was kind of like a MacBook ripoff, sleek silver, cool one. Instead, I was drawn to this really impractical Razer. It was a black Razer. Razer is a gaming laptop. I've never really been attracted to that brand. It's all like black and glowing green neon and stuff. It's not really how I see myself. So I was torn between this really good Asus that was standard. It was like all the ones I've ever bought. It was very functional. It's a very good practical choice. And then this Razer, which was maybe a little bit more powerful, a lot more expensive, but wasn't really perfect either. But for some reason, I just liked it. It just felt good. It's all black metal. It just feels cooler. So I ended up getting that one, even though I hadn't really figured out why yet. And I thought like maybe it's not a practical choice. I wasn't quite satisfied that I'd made the right choice. But once I started using it, I figured out that it's helpful to have a device that you like for aesthetic reasons. So not only is it a functional, good computer that works, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel cool because it's the design, the style of it, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way your keys press against the keyboard. Like that's all practical stuff. But I had underestimated the advantage of having a machine that's cool, that like makes you feel cool. So this is actually something earlier this year I bought a really fancy typewriter, like a USB or a Bluetooth typewriter. It's actually too fancy. I can't even take it out to use in public, but I love it because it's beautiful. So when I use it at home, I feel cool. I feel more like a writer, and that's good for motivation. It's good for your productivity because it's good for your mood and your confidence. So if you can have a little hack like that that makes you feel good writing, that's actually a big win that I think is underestimated. So I got this computer, which is kind of where it all started. And then I had to start shopping for a computer bag. So because this was a little black, sexy computer, I needed a cool computer bag for it. So I was putting more effort than I usually would. Usually like my backpack or my computer bag, I would just buy whatever fits, basically. Whatever I find, whatever fits. But now that I have this idea of creating joy in my life, kind of the opposite of Maria Kondo, I think that's her name, who is telling people, get rid of what doesn't spark you joy. Clean out your house, get rid of all the garbage. Anything that doesn't make you happy, get rid of it. I think you can reverse that a little bit and buy things that make you happy to replace functional items that just don't have any emotional impact. If it's kind of like upstacking. If you were in a video game and you could buy all this different stuff, every item boosts a different thing. So if you can boost your confidence or your mood by having a cool item, and you have a bunch of, like, if you replace all your normal boring stuff with cool stuff that you get a kick out of, even if it's kind of silly, that might be optional. That might be a smart thing to do. So I ended up buying this black leather bag that has like a Ouija board on it, which is kind of silly. All the stuff that I like, I started making this like Pinterest board or a graphic board of all the cool stuff that went with this computer bag that I was thinking about buying. And I hadn't realized this about myself, but all this stuff that I like is kind of, there's a word for it. Not quite cyberpunk, not quite steampunk. It's one other one. Diesel punk. Apparently my style is diesel punk. And I'm not a teenager anymore, so it's weird for me to like dress that way. I usually just wear casual clothes that are comfortable. I don't care about my look. I don't care about like my appearance when I go outside. that's actually a mistake. I think even if I don't care how other people see me, by being on brand, by dressing as the type of author persona that I'm hoping to become, I think that's a little hack. Like if it can create in you the mood to do more writing, or the confidence or the energy to sit down and do more work, that's a pretty cheap hack or a pretty effective hack. If you can, buy a new coat or buy some cool gloves or whatever that makes you feel a little more awesome when you're doing the writing. Kind of like it could be a lucky, if you have your office space, your desk space, you can definitely decorate it with cool things that, make you happy. But I'm thinking more of like, when I go out to do the work at a coffee shop, I don't want to be an obnoxious asshole who like completely dresses in cosplay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But by slightly dressing to the character that I hope to become, that matches the type of writer that I want to be and the type of writer that I want my audience to see me as, I think that can all be really effective. So it's kind of something I'm playing out with. It's also really effective when I'm redesigning or rebranding my website. So I'm figuring out how to do it, and now I have a good grasp on the theme that I'm using, and I can make anything I want. But I have to create a brand, which means a certain color scheme, certain fonts that have to match the mood or the feeling that I want my readers to have when they come to my book. So kind of before they even read anything that I've written, before they get to an excerpt or a quote or a review or anything, I want them to feel the emotions of my books promise. My books are all kind of dark gothic fantasy, so a lot of like nature, a lot of, I guess it could be called diesel punk or like cyber technology stuff, and a lot of urban fantasy. So I have to kind of give that feeling through my website with the pictures and the fonts and the colors and everything that I use. And rather than just like try to make that up or just guess, it was a lot easier for me in this case to first start with a folder called, I think it's Joy. On my desktop, I just like put a folder called Joy, and I just stuck a bunch of stuff in there that I thought were cool or pretty or like fashion that I liked or whatever. So now I have like an image graphic board that makes me happy in regards to my brand, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to put on my website that will hopefully make my readers happy, and also kind of to bridge the gap between my readers and me. If I can show them, for example, on my website, I will have a blog page that's just things I like, basically, and I'll just put a gallery of all this cool shit that I found that I think my readers will also like. A really easy way to build sympathy with your audience is just to like the same thing. So if I just say, these are cool things that I enjoy, there's a good chance readers might like those as well. And if you find something really awesome, and if you create an image graphic or something, you might also get a little bit of social boost, because if you have a gallery of cool shit on your website, people might share that cool shit on Twitter or social media. If you have like a easy image sharing button. Anyway, this is all the stuff I'm playing around with on my website, which is going to be pretty awesome. So in a week or two, when I've got it all done, I'll make a bunch of videos about, the choices I made on my author website, or why I set this thing up this way, and why I think it's really effective for building an author platform and selling more books and building an email list, getting book reviews, all those things. But for now, I just wanted to make this quick video that's all about kind of author branding and those personal revelations that kind of got me to this point. And maybe they'll be useful for you also. Thanks, bye-bye.